Lots of factors go into whether a video game will ever be a piece of media that you can purchase with legal tender. Even if a game is hugely popular and it makes boatloads of money and has fans demanding a sequel, sometimes factors exist that make a highly anticipated sequel never happen. In this series, we're going to look at video games that, even though they would have made their publishers literally millions of dollars, never got to be played by us, the video game purchasing public. We'll look at some of the reasons for said game cancellations and the rumors, confirmed or not, as to why we never got our hands on those sweet, sweet sequels. Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, known by most as KOTOR 2, was originally released on Xbox in December 2004 and for Windows in February 2005. 18 years ago. Good God, I'm old.
Howdy do, fellow kids.
What?
Anyway, Knights of the Old Republic 2, as the name suggests, was a sequel to the original Knights of the Old Republic and sold like hotcakes on release. Just a quick aside, that's one of those sayings that makes no sense. Like, have you ever seen a massive line outside of McDonald's in the morning like, they're all there for the hotcakes? Now, sold like McGriddles, that's a saying I can understand. According to NPD Group, KOTOR 2 sold a whopping 458,000 copies in North America alone during the month of December 2004. It's safe to say publisher LucasArts and developer Obsidian made a massive amount of money on this game. Not only was KOTOR 2 loved by Star Wars fanboys, but the critics praised the game in a variety of outlets, with much of the praise going to Obsidian for not fixing what wasn't broken from the first game, well written and deep characters, and some top-notch voice acting.
Listen, feel it echoing within you.
I could go on and on all day about what a great game KOTOR 2 was. While not a perfect game, surely a game deserving a sequel, right? Wrong, apparently, as we still sit here 18 years on and still no sequel. And no, we will not be counting the MMORPG The Old Republic as a sequel because it wasn't. While very similar, it's set 300 years into the future from KOTOR 2 and is just a quote-unquote side story. So no, it's not a proper sequel to KOTOR 2. There was a KOTOR 3 that was in the works and had a lot of work done to it apparently. Most of the story was written, most of the worlds the player would travel to were designed, along with many of the quests, characters, and items already planned out for the game. It's been rumored we would have played as a female protagonist named NARESHA. According to Chris Avellone, who worked on the creative team behind the pitch for KOTOR 3, the third game involved you as a player character following where Revan went and then taking the battle to the really ancient Sith Lords, who are far more terrifying than the Darths that have showed up so far. These guys would have been monsters. These would have a level of power that was considerable, but at the same time, you'd be able to dig more into their psychologies and their personalities, their history, and even how they dealt with the player, how they talk with the player, the different powers they cultivated and developed. And for some of them, like, they're the ancients. So they're not just ruling a solar system, but whole swaths of the galaxy. So the places you travel to, you'd see how they left their stamp on that world, or that solar system, or whatever collection of moons. You'd see how horrible that was. Part of that environment would tell you a story about that. That would be a great, epic way to end the trilogy. The Old Republic are out there. We just didn't get a chance to do it. That quote just broke my heart. So the Sith in a KOTOR 3 would have made the inquisitors from the recent Star Wars media look like the mall cops compared to the ancient Sith super beings. So, we must ask, why were we robbed of this seemingly amazing experience? Because the world is not fair and all existence is pain.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
No? Oh, okay. I guess corporate restructuring and tightening budgets seems to be the real reason. Not as nihilistic, but I guess that explanation makes sense too. At the time, publisher LucasArts was looking to handle more titles in-house, as this was seen as cheaper than contracting third-party developers, especially on an expensive project like KOTOR 3. In 2004, LucasArts V.P. of Marketing, Online, and Global Distributions Jim Ward was promoted to company president. One of Ward's first actions as president was to audit LucasArts, and he did not like what he found. Most of LucasArts' profits came from externally developed Star Wars titles, which resulted in many extra expenses and did not bode well for the company's long-term viability. So Ward set out to restructure LucasArts. According to Game Informer, he shifted development to focus on internal projects and reduced the company's workforce from 450 employees to roughly 190. Projects being developed by outside studios, including a potential KOTOR 3, were cancelled due to Ward's plans for the company's future. So that was it. We were not going to get a new KOTOR game. But after years of KOTOR being called the best Star Wars game ever made, there was a new hope. After years of rumors, whispers, and echoes through the Force. During a September 2021 PlayStation showcase, a cinematic trailer was released for a PS5 remake of the original KOTOR. Clear the track because the hype train was rolling along. The remake had been rumored to be in development for 3 years. There was even an announcement that figures of Darth Malak and Bastille Shan were going to be released. Merch, baby! However, in summer 2022, it was reported that the development of the KOTOR remake by Aspyr had been paused indefinitely. Bloomberg's report on KOTOR remake's development pause details that Aspyr had been working on a vertical slice demo to show Lucasfilms and Sony. The vertical slice is a small, self-contained chunk of the game that allows somebody to play through it and see all the major systems of the game working together, like for instance combat, crafting, exploration, and the leveling system. The developers were reportedly happy with it. However, the studio heads were not, with the design director and art director being fired. It was then reported that the development of KOTOR remake was being moved to Saber Interactive. So the KOTOR remake is still in development, hopefully. Either way, it doesn't seem like we'll be stepping back into Revan's shoes anytime soon. In the meantime, Respawn's Jedi Survivor is a fun, action-adventure game that has this fan optimistic about the future of Star Wars-based video games. Hope springs eternal that we'll someday get to go back to the old Republic a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Thanks for watching the video. Please drop a like and consider subscribing, and comment on what sequel you really wanted but just might never happen. Thanks for watching.